Okay, so this is going to be sort of less of a tutorial, more of a bit of an overview. But anyway, you want to make really cool sort of dynamic jumps. So if you watch my character, each time it jumps, it's going to be slightly different with a bit of variation each time. Now, I'm going to show you how to make this. Now, what we're going to do is in our animation blueprint, well, first of all, let me show you what we've got. So first of all, I've got jump A, right? Notice how with jump A, this right leg goes out front, and then with jump B, I kind of flipped it, that right leg goes back. So two different jumps. Now, in the animation blueprint, what I'm doing is I'm getting jump A and jump B, and I'm wiring them into a blend. Now, obviously, if this blend value, if this was at 0, then it's going to play jump B. If it's at 1, it's going to play B, A. Put those in the wrong way around. How confusing. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. If it was at 0.5, it's going to play a combination of both of them, right? So I want to put this value to make it random every time I jump, right? So on my blueprint, on my player blueprint, in the jump section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called jump blend. And then again, inside my animation blueprint, I've sent this in the event graph. I've got my players, jump blend, and I've created a local variable here for jump blend. And that's what's going to feed this. So back up my player. This is my jump event. So when jump is pressed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a random value of between, for you, you could just do between 0 and 1 and then set it. But what I found was if the value landed right in the middle, so if the value was halfway between the points, the jump actually looked a bit rubbish. So what I'm doing is I'm actually sort of finding out, if it's basically between 0.5, like I say where the jump was a little bit rubbish. So if it's between 0.5, then I'm just going to add 1 to it and just play my basic animation, giving it a value of 1.5, which means it's always going to play animation A. So just because I didn't really like it in the middle, but any other value that's returned between there, so if we get a random value of 0.8 or 0.1, it's always going to play that animation based on that jump. And that's the gist of it, really. So, like I said, to quickly recap that, we've got 2 animations, and these have been controlled by a blend. This blend information is being randomly set in the player, where I'm getting a random float value. And I've put it at these extremes at minus 0.5, 1.5, because I do genuinely want it to lean more towards the complete animations. So that's just giving it a greater likelihood of landing at either 1 or 0, so it's more likely to play animation A or B. So that's why there's a more extreme value, so it's got more weighted towards it. Then we're checking just to make sure it's not at 0.5, because the 0.5 jump actually looks a bit rubbish for me. It might not look so bad for you. You could possibly skip that optional step. And then we're sending that information to the player, and then we're applying our jump. And that is how we get this cool dynamic jump. So you can see most of the time it's going to sort of favour one of the more extremes, but we get a lot more variation with our jumps. All that from just 2 jump animations. There you go. Hope you found that useful.